And good evening, everybody. Welcome to the next episode of the Esports Show. My name's Matthew Judge Brandon. Joined with me on the desk tonight is Josh Nightfall Campbell, Lewis T-Ball Gratz on the end. We don't have Terry this week. Terry's caught up with some personal stuff, so Josh is our wonderful fill-in, not just here for a pretty face and an Overwatch segment. Are you?
I mean, I like the pretty face. I'll just.
You're just going to take that?
Yeah, we'll leave it there.
This week's episode is called #OrderUp because we thought we'd give into the madness and rally behind them, especially after how they did in the, now this is a mouthful and it's actually our first topic for the night, the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice 2018 Oceanic Closed Qualifier. It was massive and they came out of the depths to come back against Tainted Minds and win this.
Well, we obviously thought they had no hope.
We did.
We all
Everyone.
picked Tainted Minds were going to win it, especially after taking the first map 16-2 with the map in hand.
Yeah.
That meant Order had to win 3 in a row.
And that too, of course, that happened while the show was on, so we couldn't watch. The scoreline was pretty convincing on paper, but nevertheless, Order came back in the reverse sweep against Tainted Minds in the grand final. They won 2 series against Ath and Greyhound to start off their run. They were then knocked down by Tainted Minds 0-2 into the lower bracket. They faced off against Greyhounds again to stay in the competition, winning the series 2-1. And then, of course, we got their 3-2 reverse sweep to finish.
Yeah, I was surprised to start with that Order actually managed to beat Greyhound, just the form that Greyhound was in, and Order bring in Alistair. It looked like an uphill battle, but they seemed to click just at the last moment.
Look, they pulled it through, and they played very well once they pulled it together.
Oh, yes.
And this is the Order that we'd been wanting to see. PDG on Twitter was commenting on it, saying on their form and the rotates that the team had, specifically talking about, I think it was Iron that he mentioned. Just trying to picture
Iron?
the tweet in my head.
Alistair?
No, not Iron, Alistair.
Yep.
Sorry. Mentioned Alistair and his rotates and his play on the team and how he was fitting in well.
They more moved him into sort of an entry fragger out, because he was the AWPer.
Yes.
Then they moved him to Rifler. They've used him as more sort of like a lurker entry. Like it's kind of working out now, so that's good. It's good to see.
It was really good form from them. That means now that Order are the 9th team confirmed for Katowice, alongside the likes of Astralis, Cloud9, FaZe, G2, Ninjas in Pyjamas, SK Gaming, Virtus Pro and Tyloo. So we're yet to see the other teams to be announced. Of course, Katowice is going to be the first of the new Order for Majors in 16 teams. So we've still got 7 teams left to announce.
Yeah, instead of sort of the 8 that was being announced for
That's right.
IEMs before.
But we do, this prize pool coming up is 500,000 for Katowice, I believe.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Not
US
bad.
dollars, of course.
Yeah, not bad. But there was, so within Order, we got Order Up as the title tonight.
We do.
We do. Out of it, Elfish tried to claim Recorder
Oh, yeah?
as the new one.
Okay.
I made up 2 more. I made a poll.
Okay.
Here we go. So we got the results up here from on Twitter. Out of Order and Australian Border Force.
That
did
one was
come out on
clever.
top. So
I voted for that one.
I'll take that.
That was good.
Yeah, Australian Border Force was my favourite. That was really good as well. I rated that one. But of course, if there's only 31 votes on that one, guys, keep posted on the Esports Show's Twitter. We do post polls. We love to get your feedback and your opinions. So if you see the next one come up, make sure you give your vote or reply. Give us your suggestions as well in the comments below.
It's really important, Oceanic Esports.
It is very important. We need to get these hashtags right. We need to know what the community wants out of their esports teams for marketing.
That's it. Order Up's not bad, but you got Australian Border Force. They won't use out of Order. That'll be for BM when a team wins.
Yeah, that's right. We're expecting everybody else in the ocean.
You need to patent that now. Someone's going to steal it.
But that's moving from Katowice qualifiers to the Boston Major that played out over the weekend. It was an absolutely phenomenal event. We spoke last week on the show about the Major, in fact, and in particular note the side of Quantum Bellator Fire. One, because they have probably the best name we've ever heard for a team in esports, but also because they were a massive underdog and had played very well throughout what's called, it's no longer called the group stage, it's the new Legends stage of the Major.
Yeah, except they only referred to the teams as Legends if they made it to the championship stage, which didn't make a lot of sense.
No.
But
They're forging new legends when they walk into the championship. I think so. I think it's the storyline they're running with.
pretty much, it was an interesting one, but yeah, they got kicked out pretty handily by Na'Vi. And then the story of it was basically Cloud9. They came from the start. They had to go through every single stage. Now we've got a video from it. It's going down as probably one of the best esports finals of all time. Across any title, definitely in the top tier. So we do have a nice little recap video for you guys.
Have a look.
Shot play, yes, but can he go back? No, misses the shot. This is absolute carnage. The smoke's going away. And now it's Olofmeister with the sniper. There's Guardian, automatic on his own, running up the short position. I think Olofmeister's heard him, which means that they can all hold angles. The smoke fake, the flash fake won't work out. FaZe Clan take the first map of this series. Started well for Cloud9, but now we are at breaking point.
Tarik waits patiently. Oh, that is phenomenal! Cloud9 make it work! Map 2 in the bag, and now they're back in it. We go to a third.
Cloud9 are at the point of no return. The bomb is far too thick. They cannot win this. They've got to run away. They have to run away. They've got all the kills, but they won't win the round. It's match point FaZe. The Molotov comes in, but so does the rotation. Olofmeister, though, has been taken out towards the B bomb site. But Automatic's going towards A. Nothing else is going on. He's got to go back. Stewie's on his own. But look at the time. Look at the time. There's 7 seconds to got the bomb. They're trying to build pyramids, but there's no more play. Stewie's won the round. We go to overtime.
Cloud9 have done it! How have they done that? They came back all the way! As he has no idea which way to look. Olofmeister still gets the kill on Rush. I don't know how he's done this. Another challenge, that's all he has to win out, but he can't. It's Tarik. Tarik all the way. 3 rounds in a row.
CT side, but that's what I'm talking about. Cloud9 will force their way through the flashbangs. NA style, Pug style, but is it enough? They're all going past NiKo, but how many frags can he really get? That's the information. That's the bomb. He's got the bomb. He's standing on the bomb. And Cloud9, they have to hold the bomb site and they have to get the bomb. They've got to spread the forces. Olofmeister spraying, but what can he get done?
Tarik, it's just Skadoodle left to try to at least get some kills here and try to make the economy a bit worse for FaZe, but he can't do it. An incredible play from NiKo.
Still, Olofmeister is the man who can in the site. Guardian sprayed down, but they're not ready for Olofmeister. They have to take him out, and there's the frag. It's 2-on-2. They're on the wrong bomb site. NiKo by the library position around the smoke, and he gets a frag down to Stewie2K. Would you have it any other way? He needs to find the ace to win this major.
Never he needed a result. It's now. There's one. Stewie, can he do it? Can he do it? No! Stopped by Carrigan. FaZe stay in this.
In one, and Carrigan keeps them in the game. A release of pressure from NiKo, and that's going to really get FaZe back into this game. And now it's Cloud9's turn to struggle with the money. So close, so close. Plays moving through construction, automatic in the pool. Rain taken out, 2-on-2 now, and it's Tarik. He's got higher health, but it's not perfect. Down he goes, it's Guardian. He's the only man standing between Cloud9 and the major. It's going to be a double peak. There's the first one. We go to overtime number 2. Cloud9 don't do it. They're still in this major, FaZe Clan.
Actually, this is just so incredible from both teams. We're going into it again. It's both now from quad here for FaZe. Can Cloud9 close it? Skadoodle gets one. Skadoodle can't get the third. It's NiKo with 12 health.
Is there time though? Is there time? I'm not sure if there is. It's going to be a close one. And he's done it. FaZe Clan take the lead in overtime number 2. He was the only man with a defuse kit, and he was the only man to survive. Anybody, if he gets taken down, the round is theirs. Plant. He knows Guardian's in construction, trying to back off, trying to reposition. Sees him, tags him, but doesn't frag him. Holding the angle once again, but does he go high, does he go low? It is a dance, and now they concede multiple angles. Tarik going, takes Olofmeister down. Guardian on 11 HP. Rain peaks, and he gets the angle now. Superior angle. Is there a defuse for the CT side? They're not on it just yet. They're spamming the grenades. They're touching the bomb. And now goes Rain. Another bomb is trying to defuse it again, but no. Guardian gets taken down. Absolutely unreal round from Cloud9. And the score is tied. The Rapper's been stopped. There are advantages for Cloud9 now. 5 versus 4. 3 taken down. Automatic on the high ground. Dropping off. They need to hold construction. Are there flashes there? Will they push? They'll re-aggress. Down goes Olofmeister. Guardian and the Rain remain. Automatic pushing through. It's Guardian versus 2.
We saw it from this position before. He cannot miss a single shot. Guardian waits patiently as Cloud9 sets the push up. Oh, it's happened. They made it work! Cloud9 are your E-League Major champions!
It could hardly have been more difficult. They weren't the favourites. They were the underdogs. They were a heavy underdogs. Cloud9, the E-League Major champions.
What an amazing moment. I think we just saw the greatest major final of all time.
And look, I'd have to agree with him. I think that was an absolutely brilliant major. I didn't get to see the whole thing, unfortunately. I had to go back and watch it back later. I was driving at the time, so from being away from home. So I had a few hours, I listened in to the last map when I finally got phone reception though, and it was insane.
Yep.
And this is a landmark as well, because this is the first time a North American team's won the major. And not only that, but Cloud9 did it at home in North America, in Boston.
That's why the crowd was so loud. Every single kill, it was just the whole arena was up and, you know.
I mean, we saw that kid rip that phase up the side, like they were keen, they got turned.
The crowd was so good.
And then we could hear it as well, a staple of sports as well, the send them home, send that away team back home. It was unbelievable. The atmosphere there would have been amazing. It was crazy listening to it. So it was just a phenomenal feat by Cloud9.
And that's what made it better. But I mean, E-League, like they put in a little skit about rigged NA production. Yeah. Because like it just looks like it's the best storylines ever for E-League. I mean, when they ran Rocket League, G2 came from nowhere to beat the World Championships. Now we've got Cloud9
Out of nowhere.
out of nowhere
Exactly.
coming to beat top European team. It's crazy. I mean, they beat G2.
Yes.
Who beat them in the earlier stages.
They also took out SK Gaming to make the final.
Yeah, they had to beat SK 2-1. There was another thing coming out about SK had to play 2 best of 3s in a day.
Yep.
There was fatigue there. They were actually yawning on camera, so who knows? But I mean, they did beat them. That's a feat in itself. They beat Astralis along the way. They beat Virtus Pro. And they lost to G2 in their Swiss formats as well. So they were also down 2-0 in their second Swiss format.
Yeah.
So they came back from a long way back.
It was a haul, and they managed to do it. Congratulations to Cloud9. Now, I forgot to do something in the first story segment before we move on. I've actually got some links for you. So this is the links for the first story. There's a story written by Flames on HLTV about orders run through the Katowice qualifier. Have a read of that. If you want to check out the bracket yourself, you can there. If you want to watch, there's a third link. That will take you to HLTV, and you can watch back each map on that one. And I've also got this one here for you. Story number 2. Professor actually from HLTV wrote something on the major. Have a read of it. It's really good writing. Talks about the winners and the losers of the major and why he considered them to be such. Of course, Cloud9 being up there, but talking about Quantum Bellator Fire because of how well they did despite being such an underdog. Have a look at that. The bracket's there as well. And again, watch if you want to go and catch any of the VODs.
I would like to point out, James and DDK casting their first major finals were absolutely insane. Their casting, I think, brought a whole new sort of atmosphere to a finals, because we're so used to Sadakist and Henry G or Anders and Simler. Obviously, Simler's now in Overwatch, but I think James and DDK just did absolutely fantastic.
It was clear, it was concise, and they brought a lot of energy to broadcast. I agree. That was awesome.
I mean, it's easy to get energy in those type of games, but
Off
it
the
was really
crowd.
good. Plus, they were making, the other production was making fun of DDK because he's not a very good CSGO player. So, hashtag Silver's on tour?
That's it. Hashtag Silver's on tour. Thank you, DDK, for representing Silvercasters globally, everywhere. I mean, he's not silver, but he's still... people are still giving him heaps about it. But... moving on, we do have discussion surrounding the OPL Week 2. We're coming up this weekend's Week 3. Not a whole heap to say about it. Do we have the standings available?
We do. Well,
Let's
we've got the results.
Yep.
And it was very unsurprising.
Except we were all wrong.
Well, Terry sort of persuaded us to think AV might have a chance there.
He did.
He did. Bad Badger. Bad.
He was wrong. How dare an analyst make an incorrect call?
No. Well, I mean, his reasoning was sound, but
It was.
the Chiefs showed up.
They did. So last week on the show, we said the Order, Direwolves, and Legacy would take it out, as they did. They took it out in 2-0 fashion. I said that Avant against Chiefs would 2-1. I thought Chiefs would get one on them.
Yeah.
But turns out I was completely wrong. It went the other way, 2-0 for the Chiefs.
In the end, if you look at it, it's not really a surprising week in the end even though well, just come on, Avant, get in there, get a win, but it just wasn't to be.
It was not,
But-
but still a good round of OPL. If you want to watch that, I can link you to this one. There's not much. I've got the schedule. So I didn't include the Twitch link, but it's twitch.tv/OPL. If you want to watch it, that'll be playing out this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Make sure you tune in for week number 3 because we have some big matchups there. Legacy having what?
Yep, we've got them on here as well.
This one. So my match to watch is going to be Avant versus Legacy. That's going to be the hardest lineup that Legacy's faced so far. They
All the-
faced Sin and then Tectonic.
All the others 2-0.
All the others 2-0. I'm
Especially
thinking Legacy Avant coin
Direwolves.
flip.
Direwolves are going to have Schoenfire back this weekend, so
They
that'll
will.
be pretty scary for Bombers. So
No more
Bombers-
Look out.
toxicity bans.
Yeah, but Bombers get Luch back.
They do. Is Luch on form? We'll have to see coming back into week number 3.
Who knows? But yeah, I think the pick for the closest game there will definitely be Avant versus Legacy. Come on, Avant, get in there, give us a game this week.
Yeah, give us something to cheer about.
And we've got the standings up there too. A little bit small. I think I need to make a new ladder because the OPL website is just formatted horrendously for the ladder.
Yes.
But Order and Legacy equal top. Then we've got Direwolves, Chiefs, Avant, all separated by a point each. And then Bombers, Sin, and Tectonic all equal 6 on 0.
Lovely.
They'll get there in the
Of
end.
course, they'll get matches as we move through the season. We hope, of course.
Well, they have to play each other at some stage.
that's
so
right.
Points will come. But now we're back to what the OPL kind of should have been at the start of the year.
Yeah, which is full rosters with no
Which is-
toxic bans.
Full rosters, yeah.
So we are looking forward to these matches on the weekend to be able to see how these teams perform when they are at their full strength, assuming that there's no sickness or injury or anything of the like coming before
No.
Saturday.
Well, talking of injuries, over to the Overwatch League.
Yes.
Oh.
Josh, your time to shine, my friend. Overwatch League, Unco from LA Valiant had an injury. Linkster as well. Tell us about it.
I mean, you sort of just did. I mean, that's about as much as we know is that Unco, LA Valiant had a, what do they call it, an upper body injury, upper torso injury. So
Right.
No more
Specifically
details on
upper
that.
Torso, not just upper body, but
just
upper
upper
torso.
body, somewhere in this region.
Okay.
But no more details other than
There
that.
are
So
so
he
many
won't be
things
playing.
that could go wrong from the waist up. Like,
Yeah.
Is this
They're not very
sensitive
detailed.
information, or I mean, I'm not sure why they wouldn't release details.
Yeah, so I honestly couldn't tell you what the injury was, but he won't be playing, and neither will. There is one other person.
Right.
I forgot who it was.
Yeah, quickly do a mic check.
Mic test to see what's going on.
I
Yeah,
like how
no,
it's
mine's
not me
fine.
this week.
So,
That's my favorite part. Is it's not me.
It's not you, and they were working literally before broadcast, so I blame you still.
All right.
It's an intricate ploy by Josh to embarrass the rest of us this week.
Mine's
Yeah,
green there.
I've sabotaged.
Yeah, mine's good as well. I'm fine. So
Okay.
not sure what's going on there, but it was definitely Josh.
Linkser from Houston Outlaws.
Yes.
Yep. So he's also out. He was sick. That's as far as we know. That's it.
So
That's
that
it?
makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
with the upper body, I was going to mention in ice hockey, the NHL,
Mm-hmm.
they just get labelled as upper body injury, lower body injury, and put on the disabled list. So
Right.
I can see where they're going from that.
Absolutely. I mean, Optimus Jim in the chat reckons it's a nipple rash, so that's a very, very
Okay.
delicate thing
Can't
to be
play
dealing with.
Overwatch. You got it.
Well, it's
need
all
that
about
hand to
it's
itch,
all
right?
about that movement here, and if you're using your pectorals to move your arms too
Mm-hmm.
much because you're flicking, then yeah, look, that nipple rash is going to
That
rub.
is a thing in Overwatch.
Absolutely.
It's a bit messy, but
We'll get to that later as well. But if you want to watch the Overwatch League, you can. There's a link for you. You can watch it on twitch.tv/Overwatch League. Of course, though, there is a lot more that's happened. We've had Mercy alt nerfs across the board. Mercy's copped it.
Finally, I mean, that only took 3 years almost. So her ult got changed from 20 seconds to 15. Her dash during ult is now 50% slower, and there's no revive reset, so you can't revive ult, revive someone else. So she's pretty nerfed into the ground. Had some feedback, some public feedback from Doa, the caster on Twitter. He mentioned that she's only really useful for Pharah pocket healing now. You know, everyone knows pharmacy, so that's all she's really good for. Now, we'll see how she goes
so is
in the
that
Overwatch
that's
League.
like flying after a Pharah.
Yeah.
And just Just healing her and power boosting her.
And in fact, that was showcased in today's matches that were being broadcast as well, is that Mercy was literally just used with a Farah pick. I was watching a little bit of it before the show. Jake from the Outlaws couldn't seem to actually get a rocket barrage on point. Was damn good left-clicking with rockets, but barrages just didn't work. But constantly, Pharmacy was being played, making sure that we get that pocket pick moving forward for that healing and that damage boost. So I think it's gonna be a massive change to the meta because
Yeah, thank God, because it's like
gone are the days of the Angel.
yeah, which is good because now there's more variety in the healers because maybe not. We'll still see Zenyatta because his ultimate is just too good. Moira depends on the map.
Yep.
Lucio, I hope he comes back in more popularity. He has been used, just not overly. And there's one more healer that I'm missing. I should know this.
You should.
Analyst is wrong.
Anna?
This is terrible. That's the one.
Gotcha.
She's great too, so hopefully we see more of the other healers. So
See, I still miss the 6-pick Winston dive.
those are horrible days.
They were amazing. Or a 6-man Reinhardt. That was always good fun
Or
as
one
well.
Reinhardt and 6 Mercies.
Yep.
That was God.
Or
No one
speed
would
boost.
die.
Speed boost spec was always good fun as well. 6 Lucios.
Yeah. Or
Just
was
for a
it
bit of
like
muck
3
around.
Lucios, 3 Winstons?
That was very good fun. Get the speed boost into the dive. It's the launch pad comps. Of course, can't do that anymore. But that is Overwatch News. Thank you so much, Josh, for that. And moving on, we have a topic we don't normally cover.
No.
This is the COD World League being played at the moment. Mindfreak is our representative over there for Australia, and they had an absolute ripper of a day today. For those of you who are unaware, COD World League, literally just that, Call of Duty World League. It's being played at the moment over 4 weeks. They have 3 days of matches every week. There's 2 pools of teams, and Mindfreak is in Group A, the team from our region.
We can have a look at Group A.
We can. Let's have a look at Group A. Bring it up on the screen for us. Maybe?
Maybe. Here we
There we
go. So that's the schedule for the next week.
Yes, that certainly is. Now, this is coming up. This will be tomorrow morning. Broadcast starts at 8 a.m. For day 3 of week number 2. And you can see Mindfreak in there is the second matchup of the day against Echo Fox. I want to give Mindfreak a big shout out at the moment because they played today against the reigning champs Optic Gaming and they performed very well. They took the best of 5 series to 5 maps. Scoreline did end up being 3-2 for Optic, but the COD World League Twitter account posted a tweet today that was absolutely brilliant. You can see Mindfreak sitting at 7th at the moment in the standings, but looking at their map count, 8-16, 2 of those came today against Optic on hardpoint maps. For those of you who aren't aware, hardpoint, it's kind of like capture the flag, except not really. You stand on 1 point and maintain control of it, right? Yeah. As you maintain control of it, you get more points. Congratulations, that's how you do it. Capture the point, kind of like King of the Hill, that's a better way to put it.
King of the Hill.
Keep them off the point, you hold it.
Same as everything in Paladin, same as half of the Overwatch.
That's right.
But you get points instead of...
You do, and it works up to first to 250 points.
Yeah.
Now, Optic Gaming joined Mindfreak's 100-point club today. The reigning champions on the second matchup couldn't get over 100 points. Scoreline finished 250 to 87, which was an answer for Mindfreak against the haters who have asked why the hell are they even there. Well, there's your answer, that massive scoreline. So well done to Mindfreak. Of course, this one here, and let me get you some links, guys, if you want to have a watch or a suss of it. There is the links. The schedule is available there, and you can watch it on MLG, of course, Call of Duty owned by Activision, as is MLG. And Twitch hasn't made a deal to buy the COD World League, so we're stuck with it on MLG's site.
No, it's on Twitch, wasn't it?
Most of the maybe. Most of the broadcasters.
You linked a Twitch site, so the World League.
Here, COD World League.
No, when you linked one today, I was watching it on Twitch.
I don't even remember linking it to you today, so that's beyond me.
I'll just double check that while you keep...
He'll double check that, but
yeah,
MLG, have a watch, have a good suss. But very proud of how Mindfreak's doing over there. Of course, Echo Fox tomorrow, that's going to be a hard matchup. Then again, I don't think any of these matchups are going to be particularly easy for Mindfreak considering. While Lewis has a look though to prove me wrong in a moment, the most major news of the day, or of the week...
Twitch.
I do have a Twitch link.
It is Twitch. Twitch.tv/Call of Duty.
Ah, cool. All right then.
More analysts being wrong.
I mean, I was just taken it off their website. I was too hard listening to Activision. I should stop doing that. However, ESL announced today IEM Sydney 2018.
Huge news.
Massive news, especially if you weren't living under a rock and actually experienced IEM Sydney 2017, or heard about it, or saw anything regarding it.
Or did a shoey there.
Or did a shoey there. People looking to up the ante on this this year's IEM Sydney with all sorts of deplorable things, but it has been announced. We knew it was going to happen. We didn't want to talk about it when things were leaked accidentally from the EEAA website, the Australian Events website.
Here we go. So we didn't want to talk about this last week. It just wasn't great. This came out publicly for probably not even an hour. And so I did take some screenshots, assuming it was going to be taken down. It was. But the information was on point there. Each day, like a cheap ticket is, what, $39 for the days? And of course, you've still got the premium tickets you can get for the goodie bags and whatnot. Did you get a goodie bag last time?
I didn't know. I was a scrub and got in on a media pass, so I got absolutely nothing.
Okay.
So
fair enough.
I worked at IEM, saw a little bit of the CSGO action, and didn't get a goodie bag. So this year's my year, man. I'm getting a goodie bag this year. I want an IEM stubby holder.
Did you go?
I went. I worked on the smart stuff on the community stage, but didn't get a goodie bag.
So did community stuff like us.
Yeah, like us. Day one. We were day one, he was day two.
Okay,
Pretty much.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's why we didn't see it. But
Yeah.
I did get a goodie bag.
Yes.
I did. Oh,
I know, right?
Oh, jealous.
incredible. Well, I don't know if it was specifically worth it. I mean, like, I'm glad I got the stubby holder.
Absolutely. That's
But like, apart from that, it's kind of like, eh.
keychain.
I think that they'd change it.
Yeah.
I don't think there was a keychain.
No.
Not even a
maybe one of them
keychain.
did.
Rip
No, I
off.
think the like the sort of like global elite goodie bag or something.
Package had a keychain.
But like, I don't know, like just personally,
Yep.
I would think like going and, like if you want some ESL merch, I would recommend just going and buying some ESL merch
Yeah.
there, or whatever merch you want. However, it's a nice little thing.
It is.
Glad I got those stuff there, but I don't know. Maybe they'll send me one, and I'll spruik up their goodie bags. again.
T-Ball's definitely not spruiking for a free goodie bag to advertise. Not at all. Although I do feel a similar sentiment, and I think that last year when they did the mock-up goodie bag that had like an Akubra cork hat and stuff
was
like that,
better.
that was a really good idea.
Yeah.
Should have actually done that for your at least your VIP bag.
But I mean, like Katowice ones, or how do we say it again?
Katowice.
Katowice. That's the traditional.
I literally spent half an hour today researching Polish pronunciation of Katowice.
Okay.
So,
yeah, they
yes.
got like a cool backpack and stuff.
Yeah.
Like ours was
Really?
like a cool army tactical backpack kind of thing. We had like that. It was like a stringy pull type beach one, which like I get it. We're at the beach. I mean, it's cool, but like it's not to that standard.
That's right.
So
It's not Poland
It was
cool.
nice. Plus there was a jersey. I mean, it was from BLK. Who likes BLK?
Valid point. Nobody.
I'm pretty sure the Crows love them.
No.
No?
No, Crows love their new brand, remember?
Yeah. Oh, they don't owe them like $500,000.
Oh,
Like,
well.
no, sorry, like 500 million. Like
Yeah,
some shit
it's
insane.
ridiculous. But talking about the actual details of this event, because of course there is competitive Counter-Strike that goes on there, it's going to have a 310,000 Australian dollar prize pool, or 250,000 American
So
is the equivalent.
Up 50K.
Sure, it certainly is. It returns to Sydney May 1st to 6th, with the actual event being the 4th to 6th. So group stages we assume would be from 1st to 3rd. It will be a 16-team event. However, we aren't sure yet if it will follow the same new format. We just know it's going to be 16 teams. They haven't posted format yet.
I'd put good money on Swiss.
I would as well. I would think it'd be a Swiss format. Last year, of course, the event saw 7,000 attendees per day, with SK Gaming taking away the title, defeating FaZe 3-1 in the best of 5 grand final.
That was a good final.
Absolutely
That was so good.
huge. Of course, like you said, this will have 50K more compared to last time. And this still counts towards the Intel Grand Slam, which is something we covered on the show last year. The Intel Grand Slam, if a team can win 4 majors out of 10, which covers the ESL circuit and DreamHack Masters,
Yeah, so not all DreamHacks events, just DreamHack
Just
Masters.
DreamHack Masters and ESL events, including IEM and ESL 1. 4 out of 10, they get $1 million bonus
Yeah, and if you
handed
stop
to
a
them.
team from doing so, after 3 you get like 100k.
Yeah, that's right. So if a team's on major point and you prevent them getting their win out of the 10, then you get 100,000.
It's looking super difficult in the current landscape of things. There's no standout team that's going to win everything right now. So I think that's looking even harder. I mean, when they announce it, like, well, SK's going to get it.
Yeah, that's right.
And then
And-
not so much.
Well, SK is the only team to have 2 major wins inside the Grand Slam at the moment. There are a few teams, of course, with 1. Lots with one, but SK is the only one leading the pack. So they've still got time to, of course, get their 2 more and get their $1 million. But with the way that they performed at Boston, we're not sure if they're going to be picking up the next major to come around.
Yeah, well, that's if
Or
they're...
the next Grand Slam
that's if
qualifier, I
they're
should
still
say.
SK at that time.
That's right.
Because there was a little sort of news thing that came out saying Immortals might be picking them up.
Maybe, which of course we have covered Immortals and their CSGO troubles on the show. That'll link back to a story a little bit later. But it would be a good pickup for Immortals. I love their brand and the SK guys are great blokes, so would be some good synergy there.
That would be going back to a South American org as well, as opposed to SK, which is European.
Cologne.
Clone.
Yeah, so
I read it today because they got picked up by a football club,
Yeah.
SK. I'm not sure. It's like FC Köln or something, some German name.
yeah,
They-
some Bundesliga. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They picked up the org.
But if you want to find out any more about it, of course, I have more information for you. And there
Look
it
at you.
is.
There we go. Speculation
Fancy.
time. How many OCE teams are going to get to go?
2.
2?
Do we actually,
3.
if you consider Renegades as part of it, it'll be Renegades and one other, I'm feeling.
Okay,
Out of
I might
16?
go, I
That's
might
quite a
go for
few.
3 then. I might
Yeah,
reckon
I'm
I'll
3
say
as well.
Renegades,
And then 2
and then
domestic.
2 domestic
Yeah.
Okay.
through a qualifier system.
I think either way is pretty balanced. There's been a lot of speculation about that online as well, on Twitter, on Reddit, talking about how that'll be balanced out, especially considering the major. But then people are still looking towards Katowice and going, well, that's technically the first one with 16 teams, considering how they kind of favour spot allocation
Yeah.
to the region and to the local host. Maybe we will get 3.
I think we'll get another slot. We had 2 with 8 essentially, with Chiefs and
And
Renegades.
Renegades?
Yeah.
So I think should get at least 3.
Well, stay tuned. Of course, you can head over to the link that I've popped in the chat for you, and that will have information that's, of course, the official event page on the IEM website. A little bit different news now, though. Legacy has partnered with Migration Solutions, which, much to
No, we're
my
just-
disagreement,
We're just confused.
you are confused. You are quite confused. Please explain your confusion, Lewis.
So, Legacy's partnered with, well, it says partnered with Migration Agents. What is it called?
Migration Solutions.
Migration Solutions. They're
Based here in
migration-
Adelaide.
They're migration agents who help for like sporting-based
Migration.
migration
Yeah.
visas. It may be just sporting, but they may venture into other things. I don't know. Like, then it says it's an agreement, so I don't know if they're just providing that service for free for a bit of exposure in that post. I don't know if they're going to be a sponsor on the jersey.
Yeah.
It could be. Quite a
But
few
would you
different-
agree that this, whatever they've worked out, makes sense?
Well, it makes sense if you're importing players from overseas,
Yeah.
from Korea. Of course, it makes a bit of sense.
Cool.
But
I think we
I
both
assume-
agree on this point.
It would make sense if they're like,
If it's regular, if it's going to
well,
happen.
not so much
often.
regular. If they're getting the service for free,
or subsidised, I would argue.
or so I don't know. I think
Marketing value subsidising the
yeah,
service.
I don't think they'd be getting. Well, my speculation would be they wouldn't be getting money from them,
No.
but they would be getting a service perhaps for free for the exposure.
Except for government costs, you'd think. Maybe like the actual labour cost of application and handling and managing these
Yeah.
visas would be free, but of course maybe Legacy still has to pay
It's just- I mean,
for actual fees.
Migration agencies are a big business. They make a lot of dollars, especially in the field that I currently work.
MJ's in the chat, and he
Yay!
said he's happy to answer our questions. So, MJ, what's the deal? Like, we get that it's to do with visas, and like we would have asked you before the show, but ran out of
Are
time.
you getting, are there Is the logo going to go on the jersey?
Yeah.
Is this just a once-off?
By definition,
Post?
is it a sponsorship, a partnership, or do you just have an agreement with them?
Yeah,
I think it's the best way to
is
frame
there
it.
That makes
gonna
it
be
easier, yeah.
Ongoing, like an ongoing thing where there's lots of exposure given to
I think we should let him answer.
migration.
Yeah, we'll let him
Throwing
answer.
so many questions at him.
He
Or
said
is this
no
a
logo
one-stop?
placement on the on socials or jerseys. So I'd assume it's some sort of partnership or they've reached
So
an
it's like,
agreement.
it's like a once-off. If you help us, we'll give you a.
Yeah. We'll see.
shout
We'll
out.
let her.
Okay.
It's an in-kind swap of services. Cool.
There you go.
There we go. There's the answer. But
Cool.
regardless, good idea. I like that.
Yep.
Similarly, but a little different, is Avant,
Yes.
who have paired up with a company called Study Loans.
Yeah. So that looks more like a sponsorship.
Yes, it
Because
does.
they're more a business that offers loans specifically for study.
Mm-hmm.
And that I think they will be like a jersey type sponsor.
I think so, not confirmed yet, but there has been a lot of engagement between Avant and Study Loans
Yeah.
regarding, Study Loans is going to be helping connect the players with study opportunities, the players at Avant with study opportunities while doing their professional play, also assisting them in ways such as loans.
Especially with academy teams becoming a thing, because they won't be able to play full time. Most pro players are at that age where they're still either in high school or thinking about going to uni or TAFE or whatever it is. So
Yeah.
this is actually a really great partnership.
It is. Oh my lord.
Yeah. I'll just quickly branch
That's
on
a
that.
lot.
There has been sort of some questions about what the interest rate is for that study loan.
Yes.
I think it's a bit confusing.
Yes, very
'cause,
confusing.
I did ask Dash about it, and he explained it to me, but I didn't quite understand it. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's not. I think it's just kind of like explained, not great.
It's not actually articulated very well
Yeah.
on Study Loans' actual FAQs. They actually
Yeah.
haven't explained their interest rate system well, which isn't. You can simplify that a lot.
So yeah, I think they might need to go and sort of simplify that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It might be that, but I don't think that's what it is. But
No, and Dash has said to me it's nowhere near because people were trying to do the maths according to what has been said,
yeah, the quick maths.
the quick math, and they were coming up with figures like MJ's got 160% plus interest rates.
Yeah, it's quite.
Which is ridiculous. Like, you'd never be able to pay that off unless you were actually earning ridiculous amounts of money after completing your study, which
Yeah.
we all know doesn't happen immediately.
Come on, man! After I finished my degree, I'm like rich.
You're so rich.
I'm rich. I totally don't.
Your
still
BA
have
has done you
Yeah.
so well.
I totally don't have a HEX debt still.
No, that's right. So I don't actually think it's anywhere near the actual 160%. That needs some clarification. I hope that Study Loans cleans it up or Avant helps clear that up for them, because that was the number one talked about thing this week since that announcement.
Yeah.
Is
So-
what good's a loan if you can never pay it for the education you're getting? You
Yeah.
might as well just save for a few years and then pay it yourself.
What else is uni for?
That's right. It's for crippling debt.
But yeah, I'm sure some clarification will come out about that.
I am sure eventually it'll come out, but well done to both Legacy and Avant for bringing in some different non-endemics.
Yep.
Having a move forward here, Cybergamer removes Rocket League from the CGPL
Yes.
and instead adds a different open ladder with a $3,000 prize pool instead of one,
Instead of 500.
instead of 500. Talk us through it, Lewis.
So basically, from the feedback, from what we looked at announcements after these announcements came out, top tier was basically catered for. Like, we could have added that other league that was previously announced,
Right?
but that was essentially catered for from like Throwdown and Gfinity to be determined.
Yes.
We still don't know what's going on with that. Was it supposed to start like next month or something? But
Don't know. The last we heard about official announcements is they announced they were announcing it in December. And then they announced that the Elite Series is a thing in December, and we haven't heard anything about the Elite Series without confidential information since.
well, Goonie put out on Twitter, one of their admins, that he was happy to answer questions, and so I asked the question. He said, "Soon."
Yeah. Hey, he answered your question.
He
He
answered
just
it
didn't actually
thoroughly.
give you any information.
But what I like is he put a trademark after "soon," so
Soon.
I think that's the
Damn.
Gfinity trademark "soon."
Soon.
But
That's
yeah.
they've actually stolen that from Valve.
Yeah,
Maybe
but
Valve should pick them
we
up.
know teams are pretty keen for that because there's supposed to be a bit of money going up for it. Still unconfirmed what that is. But Throwdown's got the RLCS there. That's going to be a full structure league. They've also got their pre-league as well. So they do mid-season stuff. And so the top teams are like playing each other quite a lot.
Yeah.
So essentially we went, right, we need to help out the grassroots. I mean, there are other systems that are trying to, but they haven't just been effective in my mind yet.
Right.
So offering this open ladder, but with a few restrictions.
Okay.
So there's $1,000 up top, but if you have a team in the last 6 months that has played an international major tournament,
Okay.
you are ineligible to sign up with 2 core members.
Okay. So, for example, Chiefs and Tainted in the current Rocket League scene.
Yeah. So like,
Okay.
so they could, well, Tainted could still sign up with like CJ, Jules, and their sub, but they couldn't have Kami in there as well, or
Right.
vice versa.
Can't have that core 2. Can't have 2 players as a core in your roster that have played in
Yeah.
an international major in the last 6 months. It makes sense.
So you could have Jake from the Chiefs sign up with like some lower tier players, maybe help them out. Like if they do, they probably won't.
Probably not.
But it is a potential. But it was there to sort of try and help restructure the grassroots.
Okay.
Because when Cybergamer had their leagues running and flourishing, there's about 50 competitive teams signed up. It's like
Right.
45 to 50.
Going
throughout-
back about a good 18 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that stopped due to factors. And since then, like right now, in the off season, there was like 4 top teams.
Right.
5 top teams. So it was kind of like a bit of a mess. Teams were still forming. It's like, right, we just want to help out. We'll offer a once-off $3,000 open ladder, and then look to move back into a traditional structure.
Okay.
I had some of the pro players approach me, going, "This sucks. Is Cybergamer pulling out of Rocket League?" It was, no, definitely not. There are things that we're trying to work out to offer to the top tiers that are going to be much more exciting than just a stock standard league
Yeah.
that runs every week and then that gets less than 100 viewers and like basically like why ESO wouldn't be running the same thing right now.
Yeah, assumedly, because 150 viewer peak to pour money down the drain for $10,000 to $15,000 in expenses isn't worth it because you're not going to recoup that money in
Yeah,
sponsorship.
per league, we're looking at like what, 4 a year. So I mean,
Yeah.
like, it's definitely coming back. Like, it's definitely going to be a big thing in the future, hopefully.
Okay.
But just needs time to work out that specific place and build up the grassroots again. So there is that base, and we have more teams competing with the top 2 to 3 teams in the region because there really is a big skill gap there. So
I
if we
think
can-
as well, and the point I want to make about the restriction that's been put in place
Yep.
is that it's not onerous, in that it really only counts out the top 2 teams from last season.
in those teams.
In those teams playing in that format, those players can still play in a different way, grabbing a pickup game team and playing with them, of course, with permission from their clubs.
Yep.
The reason I like that is there's been things in the past, like Vapor Esports, that says if you're in the top 8 teams, power ranked, you're out, you can't compete. And that, to me, in my mind, does not foster skill, because
You still
you've
wanna
then
be-
got the bottom outside of the top 8 all playing against each other, not able to even compete against them because they're totally cut out.
No, and I mean, that was a huge argument. Teams were like, well, I don't get to play the Chiefs or that.
Yeah.
So it's like, but not every team's going to be able to play them throughout the league. But there are challenge rules about like what, 5 places higher? Or
So challenge rules, the open ladder will be running on the challenge system, which is simply your rank halved plus 1.
Okay,
So that you can basically, if you're 10th, you can challenge 4th because you go to 5 at the half, and then
Yeah.
take another one off. You can challenge number 4.
so, but within that, like, you still need those teams sort of 3rd and lower, or probably about like, say, 5th and lower. They have that opportunity to play the top teams, but they also compete in a sort of structured thing where they see, okay, we're playing this team this week.
Yeah.
We can focus that team, we're challenging these guys, we'll plan on getting those guys.
Yeah.
Instead of just the league where it's going to be the same as the other formats. And
That's
they,
right.
follow that to a T. Try and get those teams into that feel again and competing better against each other. Because
Yeah.
yes, playing those teams will show you how they play and what you have to get to,
Mm-hmm.
but you still have to be beating consistently those teams at your skill level.
So Nightfall, you've seen a similar feel in Overwatch before to what's gone on in Rocket League, is that essentially the scene in the region's bottomed out. there is the top teams that play regularly. There's only a handful of them, and the rest is imploded. Overwatch was for different reasons, especially with teams waiting for contenders, and then differences of opinion on what things they should be playing. Should they play in full circle or what? How do you feel this compares?
I mean, you could apply it to so many other games because
Smite's had the same.
Smite's had the same, Paladins had the same. I mean, League of Legends at some point has had the same, and I'd say it is there now with the OPL and the gap between the Challenger Series. Or what do they call it now? It's
The OCS.
Still?
Yeah,
Okay,
OCS.
cool.
And League of Legends admitted that they hadn't been fostering
Open
exactly.
ladder
Yeah.
the
as well.
open ladder and the OCS effectively.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not just a single game. It's so many aspects of esports that, I mean, there's not ever one reason for it, is it? It's just
No.
sort of, if you play and you dedicate the time, which there are very few people who can do that, then you will be the best, and that's just what we've seen from these different games. So it just applies to Rocket League as well. But I really like the format. We need grassroots in all esports so that the lower tier can close that gap, as you say, so that, I mean, new players can come in, and there's fresh players, there's fresh plays as well. And
You're not just getting spanked by the top team every week.
Exactly,
You're-
exactly.
You're trying to get to that next skill gap, then jump up, then jump up, then jump up. You're not just going to jump to be better than Chiefs
Yep.
just by playing with Chiefs.
Yeah.
You have to take those steps.
And you've got to grind too. That's not something that happens overnight. It can take weeks, it can take months,
Yeah,
years
but Chiefs players didn't
even.
jump into that. Like, what, back 2 years ago, they were playing Blitzkrieg. Torsos, Jake the Tyrant was his name.
Uh-huh.
And it was just like Water Blitz and Triggsy.
Yeah.
I mean, like these guys were like breaking into the top 15 power rank sides. And then, like, they made some roster changes. And then here's like Jake and Drippe. Now they're like up there. They pick up Drippe with Jake and Torso. Now they're now they're like fourth.
Yeah.
Then they're jumping up. I mean, like, you've got to make those changes. You've got to make those steps.
It is that build. We'll stay up to date on what Cybergamer's plans are with Rocket League. I'm sure more will develop after the open ladder season is done, and we'll comment on the success of it throughout. However, I want to move on to something, again, a little bit different. I had a submission from a viewer who wanted something brought to the attention of the public, and this is about Hearthstone. Something we haven't actually touched on a lot. So for those of you who aren't aware, there was a global qualifier for one of the major events for Hearthstone in the circuit. It's called the Sydney Stop. And it is a massive qualifier. They had approximately 1,000 entrants for this
Wow.
qualifier over the weekend.
There's a lot
massive.
of Hearthstone
Huge.
players.
Absolutely huge. But this talks to the reason why the lack of a tournament mode in Hearthstone is a massive issue for competitive integrity in the game's current ecosystem. Now, to give you the context, deck lists for this qualifier must be submitted before the tournament, which is a pretty standard rule. Similar in other games for other reasons. CSGO, you have to submit configs before a major tournament because they don't want you bringing in flash drives to LAN to put your config in. Stuff like
Plus, it
that.
allows quick, efficient run times at LAN.
Exactly. Now, a player called Zale, and I've got a tweet from him to show later, he participated in this qualifier for the Sydney Stop. So this is the qualifier that's just gone.
Yeah.
The event's coming up later on. The top 4 players from the qualifier will play in the actual event. Now, in his round 7 match, Zale's opponent, Glory, played a card called Skulking Geist that wasn't in his submitted deck list.
Yep,
Now, that in itself is a breach, right?
correct.
But Skulking Geist has a special ability that it actually, when played, removes all 1-mana cards from both players' decks immediately.
Ooh.
And can
That's something you'd want to know about.
Interesting.
exactly, because
Yeah.
in a lot of comps, depending on what your playstyle is, what deck you're using, that could completely ruin you. If that card gets played, you might not actually be capable of winning.
It's like a Murloc deck or something.
That's
You're
right. You're wrecked. You're done. Well, Zale obviously hadn't memorized the entire deck list of every player for the tournament because
No,
the way that Hearthstone, it's not even
30 times 1,000?
not even that, because you have to have 4 decks. If you win a series, they do a veto where they
Yes,
ban out a deck
right.
each out of the 4. If you win a series, you move on to your next deck.
And you pick the one you want to sort of counter what you think they might pick out of their
Exactly right.
That's
so there were
12,000 cards.
12, well, not even that, 120,000, because there was 120 cards per player, because 4 decks by 30,
Yep.
120,000 cards that you'd have to remember in order for anyone you're participating in the competition, if you didn't know the bracket.
If you want to go and play top-tier esports, you've got to put in your research, guys.
Oh, absolutely. Well, the problem came out because obviously this isn't just any card being played, but it's a very major card.
Yeah.
It wasn't in his submitted deck
It's
list.
not just like a random crummy beast.
That's right.
The question I have is, did he use it?
Yes, it was
He did?
actually played.
Okay,
So this
'cause-
was in
yeah.
Zale's round 7 match. He played against Glory. Glory used this card.
Yeah.
Now, there's been some information lost in translation because Glory's Japanese. And not a lot of people have quite been able to work out his tweet in response to this yet. Some people say that he hadn't used it for the past 8 opponents he'd faced, and that it came out in this one. He's like, oh my goodness. Some people said he'd actually used it in every single round, and that it was actually a mistake. He didn't submit the right deck list. Regardless of the fact he broke the rules,
Yeah.
where the Hearthstone competitive community has a massive issue at the moment is with the administrative response. Because he got right through, this is round 7. He didn't get picked up for it in that match. He actually got picked up for it in the semi-final,
Yep.
where the games are actually being watched a lot closer by admins.
That's top 4.
That's top 4. He, according to the rule set, 1 game was stripped from him in his semi-final matchup.
Yep.
And Zale said, hang on, he played that against me in round 7. Why wasn't this picked up on? And it's because in the rule set, Blizzard and ESL have stipulated that it is, or whoever came up with the rule set, I'm pretty sure it's Blizzard, but they've stipulated in the rule set, it's the player's responsibility to make sure that if an illegal card's played, that they have to bring it immediately to the attention of admins. Of course, this happened 2 rounds later in the semi-final.
That's a nice little thing there.
Nice little thing there.
That's a nice little
So
clause.
admins responded in line with the rule book, saying that he lost 1 match, but of course he'd already qualified for this major event. Zale was quite upset. He put a tweet out there that we should have. This was the response from the admins, and you can read through it at your own pace. The TLDR, if your suspected opponent is playing an invalid card, this must be raised immediately to the admin team, either during or after the game in question.
So every player after every match has to go back, watch the replay if that exists, or do they have a replay system in Hearthstone? I assume they do.
don't even
Well,
know.
let's just look.
Let's say we do.
I'm going to assume if you're playing a guy, you check what their deck is. So you're like, right, I'm facing that dude on a Druid deck.
Yeah.
I'm going to look up what his Druid deck's supposed to be.
And you have that over there.
So
He's
that-
played
Now-
this.
That might
He's
be
not
an idea.
played
Can
this.
you do that?
Yeah, you can do that, but this is why an actual competitive build is being asked for by Hearthstone players. Because the deck lists are not submitted through it's an official channel, but it's not exactly streamlined. Because the whole bracket was run on Battlefy. But you don't access the card list from Battlefy. The whole card list was submitted and poured into a Google Doc spreadsheet to be analysed to go through. That clearly, okay, it stipulated every player and every card, but it wasn't exactly easy to navigate. And when you consider around 1,000 entrants,
Yeah.
imagine looking at 1,000 entries, 1,000 sheets, and each sheet has 120 cards listed. Not exactly easy to do. You can't exactly, I mean, you could go Control F and search, but after the fact. But it's a pretty onerous task to be putting on the players.
It certainly is, but I think there was an opportunity for him there. But in the same respect, it does suck.
It does.
But at least I will give huge props here to the Hearthstone community for not going full Dota or Injustice.
Yes, the Hearthstone community has acted pretty respectfully.
Good work.
They've said they've understood. ESL didn't break the rules in their administration. They actually followed the book to the letter. They just don't agree with the rule set, and they've spoken about that vocally and in a good way for the most part. So well done to the Hearthstone community. Thank you for Dr. P for submitting that, and that's exactly what we want. If you guys aren't seeing content covered by us on the show because we're trying to cover around 15 esports titles and sometimes we miss things,
Plus, we have our own that we follow.
that's right. Let us know ahead of time. This was great. I actually learned a lot about Hearthstone from Dr. P over this last week, talking about the intricacies of this event. And
it's good.
thank you so very much. That was a great story, and we hope Zale does better in the future. The problem, of course, at ESL is he's got a follower base of around 100,000 strong, so he was quite a prominent figure in the community for this to happen to.
Yeah, but I mean, like within the rule set, he's got the fourth. So
He does. So, well, Glory's got the 4th. Zalay didn't get it because he was round 7.
Yeah. So someone. It's
Someone won
it's
and
sports.
someone lost.
It's esports.
It is.
Something's not going to go your way at some point. It's just
There's always another Sydney stop next year.
there's always the next one. Yeah.
That's it. Moving on, though, we have a question that I think might have been posed by you, Josh, regarding, was it you or Lewis?
I
Or
did.
Was it?
You did.
I put this one in.
So, Lewis, why don't you ask this question?
So, do the Kings have any teams left?
Yes.
They got one.
One.
They got one.
Overwatch.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe. Now, that
don't
is
know.
something I want to talk about briefly because there's rumours.
Kings did have, when we just set it up, Kings did have top CSGO team,
Yes.
COD.
Call of Duty team,
Yeah.
CSGO Fem team.
CSGO female team,
Overwatch team.
Overwatch team.
Yep. They
Was
did
there
have
another?
4.
Did they have a fighting?
No, they didn't have
I
FGC
don't
playing
think
team.
they
Just
have
4?
FGC.
Cool.
So yes, they did have 4 teams. 2 CS:GO, 1 standard. I don't call it male because it can be mixed, but a CS:GO main and a CS:GO fem
A CSGO team that was like considered top 3 in the
in the region.
region, so
Yep.
we can call that their main team.
We can call that their main team. But there was also their fem team, their Overwatch team, and the COD team. Now the COD team was a weird little situation. The Call of Duty team was picked up and went over to NOLA. Kings paid for them to go over to NOLA, and which is the New Orleans
So it's the
major
biggest,
event.
biggest major event
Yeah.
ever.
Paid
So
for
they
them
were
to go
trying
over
to
there.
qualify for that.
They were trying to, well, the rumor around the scene, and now I can't back a lot of this up because I find it very hard to actually find information on Call of Duty. It's not the most readily accessible esport.
Yeah.
I agree. Plus, we don't have every single Call of Duty player on our Twitters.
That's right. And if I did, I'd follow thousands more people than follow me.
So this is the rumor.
This is the rumor, is that they picked up this Call of Duty team, flew them over to NOLA to
For-
play in a last chance qualifier,
Yeah.
to then get enough points by winning the qualifier to play in NOLA.
Yeah.
Now, the team got immediately knocked out in a double elimination bracket. They lost the first game, lost the second game, got stomped and got knocked out. The rumour is that even if they won that tournament, they wouldn't have had enough points to actually qualify for the main event. Now, if that's true, that paints a whole different picture here. And I haven't reached out to Kings to comment.
Hopefully
I'd
it's
like
not
to
true,
make this my
yeah.
invitation out because I don't want to comment further on that unless that's true.
I like to think that it's not true.
I'd really like to think that's not true, because that's a
But
massive oversight if it
It's
is.
just like something that you think is silly enough that it could be true.
Yeah, just strange enough. But regardless, the COD team did very poorly at that event, came back home,
Disbanded.
disbanded.
Disbanded, and then said we're looking for other teams, but then Kings had to come out and say, hey, no, they're still contracted.
That's right.
If you want them, you've got to talk to us.
Yeah, so there was that. The Call of Duty, the CSGO team, there was talks about salary discrepancy. They wanted more, Kings didn't want to pay them that much, so they walked.
As with most teams, though, right?
Yeah,
We want as much as possible.
And then so Overwatch is the last one remaining.
But the rumour is there again that Kings can't sustainably support this roster.
Well, they haven't got any sponsors yet after
No.
a long, long time. And
9 months?
They were setting the benchmark for CSGO roster payments.
Yes, they were. And that brought a lot of discussion around artificial inflation in the industry because players believing they're worth X amount of dollars, but there's no cash flow in to justify that amount. Especially when you consider the fact that this money was coming from a private investor for Kings
Yep.
that has quite clearly not received any ROI because there's been no money coming in, other than a little bit of prize money along the way.
Yeah, which still you're only taking what, like maybe 10, 20% as a
As a
all
flat.
with no sponsors kind
That's
of thing.
right.
So, yeah, hopefully that investor's still got some money and they can stay afloat.
I
But
hope so. Like, we never like to see organisations fail in this region. Not only because we like to see people succeed, but also because if an organisation like this flops, it has a ripple effect.
yes,
In that, and some of the damage is already done with players thinking they're worth more than commercially they are in this region across
Yeah.
titles.
Yeah.
but maybe like there are other teams with sponsors.
There
but
are.
There's not many teams making a profit.
No.
I'm pretty sure it's one. I'm not going to
Yeah, or
should
maybe
be-
two.
I think it's one, potentially two, but I'm pretty sure it's one.
Yeah, and so that's the thing is that, and it was a good question to ask, Tibor, because I think as part of the scene we need to talk about this stuff. And we want you guys to ask us these questions too. If you have any questions about what's X team doing during the week, send them through to us on Twitter at the Esports Show, and we'll have a look. We'll have a suss. But for now, we'll stay tuned. Hopefully, Kings can be more forthwith with some of their information about what's going on at the club, and we'll see what happens moving forward. On to similar news. Not really, but it's still a little funny because it was kind of predicted.
It was.
100 Thieves have released their CSGO roster.
Yeah, well, they jumped out of the major,
The Katowice.
so they left the major
They dropped
Yes.
down. Yep.
due to visa issues.
Yes.
They then dropped out of what was it called?
Katowice.
Katowice. So they dropped
Katowice.
out of the Boston Major, then they
Katowice.
dropped out of Katowice.
Yep, Katowice. And then they just got stop it. We're done.
Simulator.
We're done. We wish the players all the best. Oh, after they kicked KNG,
Yeah.
they kicked him as well before they dropped the roster, and then they just like, just stuff it. We'll stick to League of Legends.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly good.
Yeah, so I don't think they actually played a tournament under 100
They
Thieves.
didn't play a game under.
Didn't play
Didn't play a
game
game.
under 100 Thieves.
The roster had not played under that.
They're now
or-
free agents.
They are.
We'll see who's keen on picking. I don't think they'll be picked up as a roster.
And also, 100 Thieves in this in the thing that was up before on the screen in the statement, end of the first paragraph. As a result, we have decided to take a step back from Counter-Strike Global Offensive for the 2018 season. Smart move.
Wise move. Yeah.
Very wise move.
Yeah, I think they've gone. Yeah, no.
Was not working, so take a back seat.
To
We
be
wish
f-
100 Thieves the best. I do like Nate Shot. Nate
Yeah,
Shot.
he's a good dude, yeah,
he's
that's the
actually he's
one.
been a staple of esports for
The owner of
ever.
Immortals. The owner of
What?
Immortals?
No, no, 100
Winston.
Thieves.
Oh, 100 Thieves.
No, Winston's
yeah.
Immortals.
Yeah, no. So 100 Thieves, good org.
Yeah.
Immortals, good org. Just got unlucky.
Just-
Picking up the.
That roster's cursed. Leave it
Yeah.
alone.
Had good results. Second at the last major, the PGL major.
That's it.
But yeah, and then the other CS:GO stuff. SK potentially to Immortals.
Hmm.
That was some big information coming out.
Was.
Is there potential there for that to happen? Going back to Brazilian org or South American org?
Yeah, we'll
And,
see.
Yeah, see how that goes. They were unlucky to miss out on their, what was it, NALCS slot.
Yes, they were.
Taken away, but they got some cash, so
They got a consolation prize for that one.
Yeah, they got a consolation prize, and that might help draw back SK.
It will. Moving forward, we don't have much left in the show, ladies and gentlemen. We're almost finished. Josh, back to you again for a short one. The Overwatch League has got new non-endemic sponsors. We announced Toyota the other week. Now they've announced T-Mobile and mine and Uber's personal favourite, the Sour Patch Kids.
Yes. So interesting pickups. I mean, T-Mobile has sort of been there for the Overwatch World Championship. It's just now moved into the Overwatch League.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, it's a
Wasn't too much
pretty
of a
easy
stretch.
transition. Yeah. It's just Sour Patch Kids. I mean,
That's like noodles.
Yeah.
2-minute noodles
Yeah, it's
sponsoring
The ramen noodles.
yeah.
ROCS.
Yeah, that's right. I think, look, I'm not going to argue with it at all. I think it's awesome. Like, I think we'd all agree on that.
Yeah,
But
it's just strange.
It's kind of out of the woodwork. Sour
Yeah.
Patch Kids, in my recent memory, haven't ever sponsored esports anything, and they come right out the gates with Overwatch League.
That's good. Another non-endemic.
Good on them, I think. I'm hoping for local, domestic, we can get the Natural Confectionery Company on board. That would be amazing, because I need some sour squirms in my life.
Well, that's it. Come on, Capri.
No, yeah, exactly. Just about to say, that'd be nice.
A big story that's being debated at the moment in the FIFA scene, though, written by Freddie Trezeter from Go to Game, was talking about the FIFA E-League draft, which of course is tonight. But there's been some controversy. Tonight, the FIFA E-League draft with the top 50 competitors from the Oceanic FIFA player base will feature only Australian competitors.
All right. Nightfall, get fired up.
I'm culturally offended.
Yeah, be culturally offended, because out of the New Zealand competitors who were given invitations to the draft and selected by clubs, players who were planned to be competing, their picks were then rejected by the Football Federation of Australia, the FFA. The draft that commences tonight, 6:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time, so that's already been going on. That was started before the show. That was on the Hyundai A-League's Facebook page. Cripsy, who is a popular Tender Mind streamer, was selected previously to do it for Brisbane Roar. So congratulations to him. But it's part of a multi-year plan. It's the first kind of event of its kind planned out by the FFA and Fox Sports. Interesting league to be going on, but a lot of controversy around the decision to cut New Zealand players out of it. And not a lot of information's been said. Those players haven't received an official message to say they're cut out of it. They've been told by the selected club that the club's been told they're not allowed to compete. The club's been told that the player's not allowed to compete.
So to recap, they were invited.
Yep.
And then they were declined, rejected.
Yep.
So it's like the Wellington, what's the name? Wellington Phoenix?
Wellington Phoenix.
They won't have they won't have representation in
Correct.
So this is basically like A-League and Football Federation Australia being different entities.
Yes.
And Football Federation Australia going, screw you guys.
See you later.
Football Federation Australia, we're not helping out New Zealand.
Yeah, it doesn't look good at all.
Have your own league.
That brings up a good point. Does New Zealand have to start our own association?
That's a big word for you, Josh.
I know, it's really hard to get out. But do we have to be our own entity now to be able to compete in these tournaments?
Well, that's a good
Well, what do you mean?
question.
There is a football like New Zealand. I don't know what they're called.
Yeah.
But
But do we have to go through that now to then get into this rather than going
no,
the
it's
regular
more
way?
like Football Federation Australia just going bugger off.
I think
So
it's...
there's no way for us to compete.
No, you'd have to make your own league. They're
Exactly,
Like,
that's
make
what I'm
your
saying.
own-
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
So Football New Zealand, in association with, I don't know, Foxtel New Zealand, whatever that's called.
That's it,
Yeah,
Sky.
The Sky.
Sky,
Yeah.
in association with the Sky, would have to go, screw you, Australia, we're making our own league. It's going to be better.
To summarise this segment,
Blackjack.
I think Mr. Untitled in the chat's put it the best. Classic FFA, though, they're not really good at anything. So, moving on, though, before we wrap up this week's episode and talk about what's going on moving forward, I thought I'd bring something a little bit different to the table again. This is a week of differences, as I'm bringing some patch notes to the table for Fortnite Battle Royale.
Look at you.
That's an upcoming potential esport.
Potential esport, rival to PUBG. They're kind of a bit more, at ends with each other
Bit
still.
more cartoony, bit more fun, bit
Yeah.
smoother.
A bit? You mean a lot?
But the patch notes, and I think I've still got a link for this one. Let me see. It should be something like,
Magic.
nailed it.
You're onto it.
Nailed it. The minigun has been added to the game, and that is the big patch for Battle Royale. There's a couple of bug fixes to save the world, a couple in there for Battle Royale. But this was the most notable bit. It can be found in chests and supply drops. It fires almost as quickly as a submachine gun, and it uses light ammo. So I'm interested to see it make absolutely no impact on the Fortnite Battle Royale meta, because the sniper
won't.
rifle and the SCAR reign supreme.
Exactly. I've used it in Save the World. They've got all the weapons in there. They've got a double barrel dragon shotgun in Save the World, and it breathes fire. It's friggin' awesome. If they bring that to Battlegrounds, that'd be awesome. But the minigun just shoots too slow. You are slower when you're firing. So if
Just
someone
like a
sees you,
Negev coming in.
yeah, exactly.
Not
Someone
even
could
that,
just
because at
headshot
least if you
and you're
get,
dead.
16 bullets and you've got a laser rifle with a Negev, the minigun is just atrocious on the accuracy. You're slow when you use it. It's got low damage, and it has a slower fire rate when spun up than an SMG.
Low damage.
Yeah,
It's just-
Have you seen what miniguns do?
my point exactly. Like, a real chain gun does a lot more than that. So, look, interesting. Maybe they'll add some balance changes. Of course, the minigun's been in the main game, Save the World, for quite some time now. They just brought it across to Battle Royale. So we'll keep posted on Fortnite patch notes. But other than that, Lewis, give us what's coming up. We've got what's coming up in the week.
So we've got Rainbow League 6 League.
Rainbow Six.
Rainbow League 6 League.
Rainbow...
Six Siege.
It's like...
This is the
Yep.
this is the matchups for this week, guys.
There's the matchup. They're on R6 ANZ.
Yes.
Right, did I call it Rainbow League? Did I?
Rainbow
You did.
League 6 League.
Rainbow League 6.
Cool. So love it. So that's on there. Monkey Fist is covering these.
Of course, wonderful Rainbow Six caster.
Yep. CGI PUBG.
Yes.
That's on what, Tuesdays?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
And A starting up on Wednesdays, I think.
Mm-hmm.
They've got tournaments on Wednesdays anyway.
Certainly do.
We have CSGO ESEA going on.
We certainly
So
do.
there's
That
lots of
started.
matches
Mountain G
last
League.
night. Big upset last night. Atletico actually lost to Sea Dogs.
Yeah, that one was interesting.
Yeah.
Atletico not quite on
in
form.
like triple OT or something.
Sea Dogs on very good form. They played phenomenally.
Oh, very good form indeed. Maybe it was that supermoon that we didn't get to see in Adelaide. 'cause
Maybe it was all the copy pasta we saw that was coming through with Frankers give these dogs to help Sea Dogs. That was great.
But apart from that, you've also got we mentioned the CG Open Ladder for Rocket League.
We did.
Anyone can go and join that. And standard play, like Cybergamer website, Play ESL website,
And of course, the Cybergamer Premier League CSGO starts up soon as well.
yeah. And to reiterate the radio ad, you can go from the couch to the stadium.
Gfinity, of
weeks.
course.
Gfinity. So you've got a few options out there.
You do.
Plus, there's always some local tournaments that I haven't gone and followed up on if they're running or not. But I suppose we should just throw in a little quick, who are these go-to game people and why should people go follow them?
Okay,
on Twitter?
so I was going to wrap up the show with this. I think we'll do it before the eGaming Award for this week. But Go to Game, the esports show, if you didn't notice, we've partnered with Go to Game. They are the go-to destination for gaming news, and now with us on board, apparently esports. I'm not saying we're the go-to place for esports, but they are. They are
Come
a
on,
marketing.
We are. Tom, where else are you going to go for esports content? I just
Literally anywhere else but here.
have no idea.
Mate, you could go to Screenplay. They're building a custom set and have asked APAC teams for jerseys, not that they'd know who to approach.
They didn't go ask them.
No, they put a public tweet out. But Go to Game, absolutely love them. They're a branch off from Digivisor, who are a market data solution company, help out with analysing data in terms of impressions and media and marketing, and help businesses use that to grow. Go to Game is their gaming division, separate entity run by Fid McAwesome. Jack Hutto's in there as well. They've got a great team in their Sydney office, and they've partnered with us to help us out with marketing and distribution of the show. So big thank you to the team at Go to Game. Love the work already, and thank you so much for their ongoing support. They're looking to help us out with some pretty cool plans moving forward this year. So fingers crossed we can execute on those. But yeah, you're going to see that logo sitting up there for a little while. And of course, they will be actually hosting archived VODs for us from now on. So if you go to .game, you will be able to watch past episodes of the esports show embedded on their website.
Cool.
That's basically it.
Lovely.
Awesome.
Follow their Twitter.
Absolutely, at GoToGame, GOTOGAME. And while you're there, follow us at the Esports Show.
Yep.
And don't follow Nightfall, but follow Tibor and I.
Wow. I'm again culturally offended.
I hope so. Lewis, give us the eGaming Award for this week.
All right. So we got the eGaming Award here.
It's beautiful.
The ever lovely eGaming Award.
It's great. I've never seen Corsair RAM used so efficiently in a SATA HDD reader.
Yeah, I know. Take that, Corsair.
Who gets it this week, my friend?
We're kind of giving it to technically Satakirst,
Okay.
but more so to the Overwatch League. There's a bit of crossover here.
Do we have a clip for these wonderful people?
We have a clip.
Have a look.
All of us at home being the winners when this is over. So let's just get to it. It's going to be about as confusing as trying to watch professional Overwatch, but we're going to go with it anyway. Let's go. Get in there, boys.
That's
About as
fantastic.
confusing as watching professional Overwatch. Well, we don't have to say that anymore.
He's not wrong. Oh, the crowd reaction. They lost it.
Yeah.
It was funny. But yeah, so that's the eGaming Award.
Thank
Well
you
done.
very much, Lewis. Thank you, everyone, for watching this week's episode of the Esports Show. Thank you to Lewis, Tibor Gratz, Josh, Nightfall Campbell, great applause. Thanks, guys. My name is Matthew Judge Brand, and we're going to leave you with this video hyping up for IEM Sydney 2018. We'll see you next week.
I am too excited!
Sydney, you are one of the best crowds we have ever had. We'll never forget this tournament, never forget Australia. It's just beautiful.